let's get into this one. So before we start, today is actually a holy day related to this the Jaiva Dharma, and today is the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, for him, the whole Jaiva Dharma, it really flew through his trance. Okay, so that was how he really wrote everything. All the things are facts and completely all philosophical treasure. So he is disappearance day today. So he is the author of Jaiva Dharma and also about 100 scriptures that he really manifested. So also today is the disappearance day of Sri Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit is actually a manifestation of Srimati Radharani. So that is why in we see a lot of devotees, they actually worship as Gaura Gadadhar. Okay, because this is actually kind of word Krishna and Radharani. Okay, so and in fact very surprisingly, because two disappearance day actually happening, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Ishta Deva, that deity that he worshipped was Gaura Gadadhar. This is another interesting thing also. Anyway, so it starts with the story that when that under the banyan tree, they all assembled, all the Vaishnavas assembled, and then they started actually discussing all the things. So that was one particular tree under which Lord Nityananda Prabhu used to really sit. In fact, when we were there in Ambika Kalna last time, so we actually saw one banyan tree where Lord Nityananda Prabhu actually stayed under. He used to sit under there, and in fact that is the place he got two sisters. He actually got married to. Okay, so now you must have really noticed that one. See, these kind of slokas are really very, very predominant. Jeevitam Vishnu Bhaktasya Varam Panchadinani cha Natu Kalpa Sahasrani Bhakti Hinasya Keshava. It is most auspicious to live in this world even for few days as a bhakta of Sri Vishnu or Krishna, whereas it is not at all auspicious to live in this world for thousands of kalpas. What is the kalpa? Kalpa is one day of Lord Brahma, which is equivalent to 306,720,000 years. So 1000 kalpa means that's what the years that I will put that one. So without bhakti to Keshava, what is the use of it? Because they will be wandering by birth, death and disease and old age. This is what they will be actually undergoing birth after birth. Okay, so this is the thing. Also, I must have really seen that one. Maybe we haven't really read that one yet, probably, I'm not sure. Who is like a donkey? Yasyatma buddhi kunape tri dhatuke swadihi kalatra dishu bauma yijyed dihi yet tirtha buddhik sailena karskisit janesh abhinyeshu cha eva go karaha. One who identifies himself as the body. I am the body. I am a man. I am a woman. I am this. I am that. So he is like a donkey again, right? And also who sees that deity is just like a stone or the thing. There is no power in that. He is also donkey. And also one who really thinks that all his wife and children and house and job, they are all him. That he is also donkey. Such a person is no better than a cow or an ass. Okay, so now why Mayavadis can never be Krishna Bhaktas? Who are Mayavadis? Those who say that Maya is the thing. In fact, in South India, this is a pisas, kind of ghost that has really captured so many places. Because there is a purpose behind why Krishna really sent Lord Shankaracharya, who is actually none other than Lord Shiva, is to really take away all the non-Krishna non-devotees out of that. So that was the reason they will be put in Brahma Jyoti. They will, for them, Brahman is the topmost, whereas it's not the fact. So Mayavadis are identified by no faith in Ishvara, no faith in God. In fact, they may say God is, you are God, I am God, everything is God. So that is what the South Indian sambar. Okay, no faith in Ishvara actually. And also they think that Ishvara as Paramatma is a karmic dispenser. Whatever, if you do good, he will give you this, good things. If you do bad, he will put you in the hell and so on. Nothing more than that. Okay. So this is another concept. Ishvara has no form. No form means no material form. Spiritual forms. He has spiritual forms. Why can't he really take a form? Even a table, even the jada things can really take form. Why can't God can actually take form? This is their stupid thing. Okay? So they say that there is no form. God has no form. What it means is God has no material form. The spiritual form which we cannot understand. We cannot even see our spiritual form is what? We are a jiva. But we cannot see ourselves as a jiva. That is what that means by actually what it's saying is, Ishvara is actually beyond all the material conceptions. And they also say jivas are not eternal servants to Ishvara. This is the fundamental problem. They really think that they are God. They have nothing to do to really serve to the Lord. That is not the fact. Okay? So again we'll actually go into that as we go. Because as a jiva, we are all serving. We are serving ourselves, we are serving family, we are serving the society, we are serving the job. So the service is inbuilt in every jiva, which we cannot change. Right? But on the other hand, they think they are the God. They are God. Everything is God. Okay? That's totally opposite. They can never get Krishna Bhakti. Okay? And also they say Ishvara does not have any mercy. Because Brahman has no attribute. Nothing. No properties. So there is no mercy at all. Okay? So these are called 5 kinds of dvesha. Dvesha is matsarya. Matsarya means jealous. It's a jealous. Actually, like there are several like the forms of matsarya actually. In fact, what happens is, Srimad Bhagavatam says that if anyone has these kinds of matsarya, they have no way of getting Krishna Bhakti. See, dharma prajito kaitavo atra paramo nisparat nirmatsaranam satam. One who has no matsarya, no dvesha, okay, then Krishna Bhakti automatically comes. He comes nirmatsaranam satam. When? Immediately, tat kshanat. Okay, this is actually Srimad Bhagavatam, big sloka. This itself will take probably about weeks to really go through. I am not going to go through. But again, now in addition to those, that means not having dvesha as the Mayavadis have, every Vaishnava should have these 10 basic qualities to enter into the Vaishnava state. Dhriti, determination, kshama, forgiveness. Because jivas are as a human nature is to really make mistake. We think that only one we do, we are doing always right. Others do, that's always wrong. See, this is the problem. So the Vaishnava means he has to be shama, he has to forgive. Suppose you feel somebody else actually made a mistake on you because you are thinking that you are the right person. No, you have to have forgiveness. That is shama. Otherwise, you are not even entering into the Vaishnava stage. Then Damo is control of mind control. Okay, so this all the mind is connected to all our indriyas. Okay, all the 5 indriyas we have. So we should be having control on that. Okay, some eating tasty food, eating this one, or looking this and that, and those things are what not in control. So Damo is control of mind. Then Asteya means not stealing anyone else's property. Even if it is a paise, if it doesn't belong to you, no, you should not take it. This is the thing. And whatever the things that you get as a salary or something like that, you have to really work, 100% for that one. So this is not stealing. Saucha means cleanliness. You have to take bath in the early morning. Not just like spraying some here and there. No, you have to take bath in the morning for sure, completely before you really enter into the puja room. Then Indriya Nigraha is the controlling senses. Okay, controlling the mind is another one. Mind is the one which controls the senses. Okay, so that means you have to have a control on your mind itself. Then Indriya will also think, oh, there is a nice pizza smell coming there. So the nose will really what? It just attached to that, and then it goes to the mind, and then you really think about the pizza. So this Indriya Nigraha is very important. Then Dhir means intelligence plus knowing Shastra. Because you cannot just like that, the thing is, why we are actually making sure that you have to also have the Shastra foundation is, your chanting will be pure. Otherwise your chanting is not going to be pure. You just read there, right? Kanistha, who really got just initiated, or they are actually coming to Krishna consciousness, cannot chant Suttanama even once. No, it's not possible. Okay, even once it's not possible. So it does not matter how many rounds you do. Okay, so you have to make yourself in the next level to above Kanistha. Okay, then Satyam, you have to be truthful. You have to have truthfulness. Now, if you see Vaishnava, there are 3 levels. Kanistha, that means beginner. Madhyama, that is intermediate. And Uttama, who is actually topmost. So Kanistha, what is that one? I am just telling. He possesses many of the 10 qualities that we just talked about in the previous slide. He chants probably 16 rounds around. And initiated mostly by a Kula Guru. Remember, some the families, they have Kula Guru. No, Kula Guru initiation is not a really Vaishnava Sampradaya initiation, as you also read there. But only thing is they are so much mingled in deity worship. So the deity worship is the primary identification for Kanistha. And now the horrible thing is, a Kanistha will think that he is the Uttama Adhikari, Uttama Vaishnava. He is the topmost Vaishnava. This is the problem. And also self-centered. He will be always looking for only for him. His own protection, his own safety, his own, wellness, protection. This is all then the Kanistha line. Okay? Then cannot see sadhus versus others. No, he can have no idea who is actually a highest, like Uttama Adhikari, a high bhakta or not. He has no way of seeing that. And he is actually at the door of the temple. The temple of Bhakti. He hasn't entered yet. He is just outside. He is at the door. That is why he said Chaya Bhakti Abhasa. Chaya Bhakti Abhasa means what? He is actually even, he will be quarreling with the other Vaishnavas. Same, even though, people got the initiation from the same Guru, even then they will be fighting with each other. This is the typical quality of Kanistha. Who is Madhyama? Madhyama is intermediate. They possess all the 10 qualities completely, 100%. They chant 64 rounds minimum or 128 rounds. Okay, that means, you cannot say, I am going to chant. You say, you may chant, but the problem is after some time, you'll be fed up because you are not in that level yet. You cannot imitate. And also he will be proficient in sastras. He can really pull any sastra just like that. And he is the one who engages in preaching. Kanistha, they think that they know everything, all the sastra, even though he doesn't know even a single sloka. This is the Kanistha style. Madhyama Adhikari is the one who really knows the sastra, but he will be silent. But he is, as per Gurudev's instruction, only he will preach. Otherwise, he won't even. Everything is under Gurudev. If Gurudev says you do something, that's what you should do. He is already inside the temple of Bhakti. Okay, Madhyama Adhikari is most of the Vaishnavas, high class Vaishnavas, they are Madhyamas. Uttamas, topmost, very, very difficult to find. Their behavior is really so bizarre sometimes. You cannot even understand. Vamsidasa Babaji, if you really see his lifestyle, oh my God, you cannot really figure out what he is really doing. It's really, he will be chastising the deities. He will take a stick and say, oh Gaura, if you do like this, then for me, I am going to beat you. Like that he will do. He will chastise. He can talk to the deity and get answer back. Okay, so they are not interested in preaching or anything. They are not interested in any mundane activities. And in fact, one of the Babajis who really, because of the sick of all the worldly people coming to really get all the blessings, he really went, he used to get into the toilet room and lock it and then chant inside in that stinging smell of the toilet. Because he said the stinging of the material people who want their protection, their wellness, their good, there. This toilet is much way better than that. That's why he used to do that. So these are all Uttama Adhikaris. They chant all the time. 192 rounds is very, very important. But they chant Suttanama. Not like Kanistha. You can keep on chanting crazy, but not even a single Nam is Suttanama. You just read that one, right? Okay, so it won't come. Because they are Kanistha level. Okay, then now another thing, Uttama Adhikari thinks that everybody else is actually higher bhakta than him. This is very, very important. He thinks that he is low. And he cannot differentiate between a Vaishnava and a non-Vaishnava. Here, if at all his guru tells to preach, he will step down to Madhyama like Srila Prabhupada did. Srila Prabhupada is a Uttama Adhikari. But why he really started preaching? Because his Guru instructed. So he really came down to Madhyama. This is the mercy of them. Our Gurudev was the same thing. He is a Uttama. But he came down because his Guru actually asked him to really, go and then help all the souls. And he even thinks that he is not even a Vaishnava. See, he is not even a Vaishnava. That is how a Uttama Adhikari will actually feel. Now, a Kanistha, as I mentioned, he just at the door of the bhakti. He hasn't entered into Krishna consciousness yet. But he thinks that he is Uttama. This is the problem, fundamental problem. And the Madhyama is actually inside the bhakti, and Uttama is of course inside the heart of Krishna. Even higher. Who can get into the heart of Krishna? That is only Uttama Bhaktas can go. See, this Kanistha Adhikari has a big ego. Who is better? He did not ask me. Oh, who are you? See, this ego is 1 divided by knowledge as per Albert Einstein. More the knowledge, lesser the ego. Lesser the knowledge, more the ego. This is why the Kanistha Adhikaris are really jumping like crazy. Oh, I am near to Krishna. I am Uttama. I am the topmost, and I am doing bhakti crazily. This is really very bad, stupid. And then, in fact, Gaura Kishore, Gaura Govinda Maharaj used to, he used to be very strict. He can see the devotees, and in fact, one devotee has got hit 17 times on his head, 70 times with a stick, because of his behavior. And in fact, one of them was, he was not even memorizing the 16 slokas per day. That 16 slokas he is supposed to memorize and repeat. He did not do that. He got again, stricken 16 times on the head. This is how a guru should be strict on. Now, what are the qualities of Madhyama Adhikari? Madhyama Adhikari, he is the one who will be feeling the pure bhakti. And he will be going towards it as a goal. He is the one who is friendly to Krishna Bhaktas and the ignorance. Ignorance means what? Not the ones who really, go crazy, like out of control. No, those who ignorant means, I don't know about, can you please teach me about Krishna? Not like, I know Krishna. Krishna is here. I am Krishna. I am the God. I am so and so. No, not those people. Those who are really ignorant, but they are humble. That's the word. Ignorant and humble. So for them, a Madhyama Adhikari will actually help. Then neglect those who are inimical to Krishna Bhakti, because they don't, he doesn't care. But it's not the case with the Uttama Adhikari, by the way. That's different. Now, Kanistha Adhikari needs help from Madhyama Vaishnava a lot. Otherwise, he has no way of developing higher. It's not possible. How will be their mentality? It will be like this. Remember, there was a story where this lady, old lady, was really carrying the big load of sticks, because that was her job, go to the forest and then pick these, like big sticks and then bring. And one day what happened was, she was really, she did not pack it properly or something, it fell down. And when she starts from there, because people normally, help to really lift and then put it on her back. But now it fell down, she was not able to pick that back again and to really put it back. So he started praying, oh Narayana, oh Narayana, oh Narayana, oh Narayana. He was really crying and crying. And Narayana appeared because he was really bitterly sobbing. Narayana came and he was asking, what can I do for you? And what that lady said? Oh, I need somebody to really, take this stick again and then put it on my back because I am not able to do so. That's why you call me? All right, okay. He really put the thing back and Narayana vanished. Isn't it a foolish thing? It's like a donkey. This is exactly what is happening. We have so much of attachment, so much of nonsense in our heart, and we are declaring that we are the best bhakta in the whole world. This is a foolish donkey. Kanishta needs help from, see, he has to first understand, I am not the body. I should not ask anything related to my body. Even I am falling down from a tall place. Let me die. Because the body is not mine. I am the soul. You have nothing that you really call Krishna for help. This is that donkey. Because he has to understand this world is miserable, that one can leave the body any time. Otherwise, he is not even Vaishnava. And he has to understand, I can never be happy in this world. Whatever I do, it is not just corona, it is not the flood, it is not the earthquake or whatever it is. No, this world is designed by Krishna to be always miserable. You cannot challenge them. If you think that I am going to be happy in this world, that means you are challenging him, because he says it's a dukkhalaya. You cannot be happy. I put all the things. The problem comes from your own body and mind. The problem will come from others or governments and terrorists. And then if it is not, it will come from the Devadas by earthquakes and this coronavirus, that virus. It is constantly happening. Even if you go to Swargaloka, it's the same problem is there too. So instead, what a Vaishnava should ask? Not protection or saved from accidents. Krishna saved me. I was about to get into action. Krishna saved me. What Krishna? What kind of sambandha? You don't know even the sambandha of yourself with Krishna. And you are saying that somebody came, just Krishna sent, and then I was saved because he really caught me, like a God or something, like Krishna or something. This is crazy. This bodily concept is the first thing that one have to throw it out. You should be willing to die anytime. And the mind of Uttamadhikari, he says, see where the mind of Kanishta on the right side, what you see? I am the greatest Vaishnava. That is the ego. But whereas the mind of Uttamadhikari, he says, I am the lowest. I am not even a Vaishnava. Kripa karo Vaishnavataku Sambandha Jnaniya Bhajite Abhimana Haudur Amito Vaishnava Ye Buddhi Hoile Amalina Obehami Pradishta Saasi Hridaya Dushibe Hoibe Niraya Gami. I will go to hell if I think that I am a Vaishnava. Oh Kripa Karo, oh Vaishnavas, please be merciful. I should not have the mamata, that ego, that I think that I am a Vaishnava. I am the top of everything. Amito Vaishnava, ye buddhi hoile, amani na by ami. So the pradishta asi, that ego is the biggest problem for me. This was written by same Bhaktivinoda Thakur, whose scripture that we are actually going through right now. What is Uttama Bhakti? Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karmani anavritam anukulyena krishnanu silanam bhaktir uttama. People talk about Gajendra Moksham. What is Gajendra Moksham? He was an animal, but he was a bhakta. What kind of bhakta? Kanishta bhakta. That is why when he was bitten by that crocodile, he immediately shouted, oh Narayana, oh Vishnu, please help me. But whereas, look at here, Mirabai. He was sanctioned to really drink the poison and die. That was, yes, if you all know the story. And what did she do? Yes, if Krishna wants me to die right now, I will drink the poison, and she drank the poison. Whereas that Gajendra, he was, so bodily conscious. If you see the Srimad Bhagavatam, if we have 12 cantos, before, after the 12 cantos, 9th cantos, if you see, it's all different levels of bhaktas. Prahlad Maharaj, who is actually a Santa Bhakta, And they again, here the Kajendra like that, it will go there. But the thing is, Gaudiya won't really worry about these kind of moksha, getting the moksha and all. These are the lowest. That means you are in the kanista. You are at the door of the bhakti. So what is the Uttama Bhakti? Uninterrupted loving service without any desire for jnana or karma. That means nothing for him, but aiming only to give happiness to Krishna. If Krishna wants me to die, I will die. Otherwise, I have material, I am bonded to my body. This is the problem. And in fact, there are sub-levels of the Vaishnava Adhikara also, Kanistha, Madhyama and Uttama, which as we go in some other chapters that we will be covering there anyway. Kanistha, very beginning. Kanistha Madhyama, he is a Kanistha, but he is actually little elevated. Kanistha Uttama means he is about to get into the Madhyama stage. Then Madhyama Kanistha, he is actually beginning of the Madhyama. Then again Madhyama, then Madhyama Uttama. And similarly, everyone, even Uttama also, Uttama Kanistha, Uttama Madhyama, and Uttama Uttama is very, very difficult. We cannot even recognize him. His behavior will be bizarre because he carries Krishna and he is in the heart of Krishna.